All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always ready to explore something new.
Today we're tackling a pretty massive topic, the origins of the universe. We got some fascinating source material to work with today.
Oh, what have we got?
Well, first we've got excerpts from this scientific document. Looks pretty dense.
I bet there are some fascinating insights buried in there.
And to balance things out, we're also dipping into the first episode of a podcast called Hear Me Podcast. They've got a really interesting take on ancient creation myths.
Sounds like a good mix.
We're going to be talking about the Big Bang, of course. Where would we be without it?
It's the foundation of our modern understanding of the universe.
Exactly. But we're also going to get into some of the weirder stuff, like the possibility of multiple universes.
Ah, yes, the multiverse. Always a fun topic to explore.
And we'll even touch on how ancient civilizations explained the cosmos before they had, fancy telescopes and all that.
It's amazing how human curiosity has always driven us to seek explanations for the unknown.
So to kick things off, let's start with the Big Bang. I think most people have at least a vague idea of what it is, but maybe you can give us, the elevator pitch.
Okay, so imagine everything, and I mean everything, all the matter and energy in the universe, packed into an incredibly tiny, hot, and dense point. We call this a singularity.
So, smaller than an atom.
Way smaller. Inconceivably small.
Whoa, okay.
Then suddenly this singularity explodes and the universe begins to expand rapidly, and I mean rapidly.
And that's what we call the Big Bang, right?
Exactly, that initial explosion and expansion. And from that point on, the universe has been expanding and cooling, eventually forming the stars and galaxies we see today.
Okay, I think I'm following so far. But this document mentions something called inflationary cosmology. What's that all about?
So in the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang, something incredible happened. The universe expanded at a mind-boggling rate, much faster than the speed of light.
Hold on, faster than the speed of light, but isn't that, impossible?
Well, in normal circumstances, yes. But during this inflationary period, the laws of physics as we know them were, let's say, a bit different.
Okay, so the universe just blew up in an instant.
Essentially, yeah. From subatomic size to astronomically vast in less than the blink of an eye. It's hard to even imagine that kind of expansion.
Definitely hard to picture. It's like, how do you even wrap your head around that?
It's one of the most challenging concepts in cosmology. But what's even more interesting is that this rapid expansion might be the reason our universe is so uniform. You know, why it looks basically the same in all directions.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like when you bake a cake and the batter spreads out evenly in the oven.
Exactly. Think of inflation like that, rapidly spreading everything out, making the universe smooth and consistent. But, even about all we know about the Big Bang, there are still some pretty big questions that remain.
Yeah, like what was there before the Big Bang? It's got to have come from something, right?
That's a question that has puzzled scientists and philosophers for ages. What caused that initial singularity to exist in the first place?
It's almost too big a question to think about. And that's where this idea of a multiverse comes in, right?
Exactly. It's a pretty wild concept, but one that some physicists are seriously considering. The Hear Me podcast episode we're looking at dives right into this.
Okay, so what exactly is the multiverse?
Well, the basic idea is that our universe, the one we know and love, might not be the only one. There could be countless other universes, all existing simultaneously, each with its own set of physical laws and constants.
Whoa, so like a cosmic bubble bath with universes popping in and out of existence?
Yeah, something like that. Some theories suggest that new universes are constantly being created, perhaps branching off from existing ones or arising from quantum fluctuations in a kind of cosmic foam.
It's enough to make your head spin, but it's also kind of exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. The idea that our universe is just one of many opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. Who knows what other incredible things might exist out there?
It's really mind-blowing.
Right.
But, long before we had these complex scientific theories, people were still trying to make sense of the universe.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Humans have always looked up at the stars and wondered about our place in the cosmos. And that's where creation myths come in.
And the Hear Me podcast has a really interesting segment on this, right?
Yeah, they focus on the Norse creation myth, which is quite different from the scientific view. It talks about a primordial void and this giant tree, Yggdrasil, that connects 9 different worlds.
I always love those old Norse myths. It's amazing how these stories, even though they're so different from our modern understanding of the universe, still try to grapple with the same fundamental questions.
Exactly. It's that universal human need to find meaning and order in the chaos. to understand where we came from and where we fit in.
Like how, in Hindu mythology, the universe is born from a golden egg. It's a completely different image from the Big Bang, but it's trying to get at the same idea.
Right. It's about that primal drive to explain the unexplainable.
And in a way, we're still doing the same thing today, right? We just have different tools and different stories.
Exactly. The Big Bang, the multiverse, they're all stories too. Just one's backed by scientific evidence and mathematical equations.
But as the podcast points out, we're probably still only scratching the surface. Even with all our fancy technology, there's so much we still don't know about the universe.
And that's okay. The mystery is part of what makes it so fascinating.
It's true. There's something beautiful about not having all the answers.
Absolutely. So, what are some of the key takeaways from our deep dive today?
Well, we started with the Big Bang, that mind-blowing explosion that set everything in motion. Then we ventured into the realm of the multiverse, the idea that our universe might just be one of many.
And let's not forget those fascinating ancient creation myths, which remind us that humans have always sought to understand our place in the cosmos.
But the biggest takeaway for me, and this really hit home from that podcast, is that the journey of understanding the universe is an ongoing process. It's about asking questions, exploring the unknown, and being open to new possibilities.
Couldn't agree more. And who knows what incredible discoveries await us in the future.
So keep looking up at the stars, keep asking those big questions, and keep your minds open to the wonders of the universe. We might never have all the answers, but the quest for knowledge is what makes it all worthwhile.
Well said. Until our next deep dive.
See you then.